Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are so excited to have you today for our Friday edition of Material Moment. We have our brand partners, Sensitile and EzoBord, here with us, and they're going to share with us their latest and greatest products, some specification tips, and a lot of fun nuggets of information along the way. If you do have any questions for them, I encourage you to pop them into either the chat box or the Q&A box, whatever is readily available for you. We will be populating their contact information as well. So if you see something extra inspiring that you're like, oh my God, I absolutely need this for a project that I'm working on right now, feel free to contact them directly. So we are going to kick off with Rob Hacker. He is the Territory Sales Manager at Cara Green, representing EzoBord. So Rob, go ahead and take it away for us.
Thanks, Michelle. So it's great to be on here with you all. I'm going to talk a little bit about EzoBord. And first, we're going to start with the different materials that they offer. So all of these materials shown on this slide do incorporate a minimum of 50% recycled plastic. That's PET to be specific. These are acoustic panels in many different colors that are incorporating the recycled content that can go upwards of the 50%, but that is our minimum amount there. So first I'll start off with EzoBord, and this is going to be your kind of 9 to 12 millimeter thick panels. They're through body with their colors, and we'll get into the colors in a couple slides. We also have the Ezo felt, which can be installed on its own. It's about a 2 millimeter thick rolled material made with that same recycled PET felt, just a bit thinner, and it can be laminated to any of the other Ezo materials. So that could be EzoBord or EzoCore, which we'll get into in just a minute. That would incorporate our layers program. So you get a little bit of a sneak peek here of what that lamination process is. EzoBord's based up in Toronto, and they have a few different fabrication facilities around the country to provide local fabrication. But that layering can happen at any of those facilities to provide any custom looks you might want to use with those carved reveals you can see in this green sample right here. Oh, going back to the EzoCore really quick, that is a domestically produced material, and it comes in different densities, which makes it more applicable to lower frequencies, things like industrial noises, humming, HVAC systems, things like that. So giving you, human voice absorption, but also giving you materials to provide for those more industrial applications. And then we have the printed options as well, and I'll get into that in just a couple of slides. So these are all of the solid colors that are available in the EzoBord product category. Quite a wide range of colors for you to use, whether it's for wayfinding or just for your design intents overall. Those come in 9 and 12 millimeter thicknesses and can be arranged into all of your sorts of baffle products, furniture, partition dividers, and all sorts of different wall tiles as well. And then we have a snapshot at some of the prints offered by EzoBord. They just released the Robin Sprong collection. So initially started out with a lot of those wood grains you can see mixed in here, but we really moved into printing a lot of artwork, concrete looking surfaces, and the list just goes on and on. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of different artwork you can pick from to be printed on any of your panels. And of course, we do offer customization. So if there's ever any logos or other artwork that you discover on your own, we're happy to print those custom options as well. So we're just going to flick through a few installation photos. Some of these are custom. This is their acoustical net. This can be very customized. There's a few standard options, but we always look to the designer to provide us with some kind of feedback on what you think will look best in the space. Up next is some of the screen partitions and some of the geo clouds in the hexagon shape. And you can see this is a very colorful space using, I think, about 4 different EzoBord colors. This is a great look at some of the layered options that EzoBord can do. So you see that side profile of these custom baffles. with the white in the middle and then red on either side. It's just a little bit more of a design feature with that layering option in on the side profile of these baffles. Some geotiles shown here, playing with two different colors to just provide a more intriguing design, but great for your workspaces, and really schools are a great application as well. Over here, we're seeing more of the geotiles with some carved patterns put in there. So those different line elements are incorporated into the geotiles to provide a more intriguing design as well. And then again, some geotiles mixing some colors here. We have trapezoids shown here, and you can kind of play with the shapes to fit together as best as possible, but provides a really, really intriguing design here. And again, some more geotiles in hexagon shape, playing with all the different colors again. And we see this used a lot for those focus rooms so that we can provide a nice quiet place for people to take refuge and focus in on their work or calls. This is one of the, I don't want to say new, but newer products that EzoBord released. We're always releasing new configurations of the materials, and this is the balsa product. They've incorporated some lighting here as well, which some of the EzoBord products do have, but it's printing a wood grain to look like a slatted wood, but this is all made of that recycled PET felt. Looks super realistic, but also provides that acoustic comfort for the space. So some quick tools to show you guys on EzoBord's website. They have a virtual showroom for you all to check out. It's quite extensive. There's educational spaces, healthcare spaces, work spaces as we're seeing now. All of the products are installed in here. We have rail baffles on the ceiling with some lighting. We also have balsa in the conference room to the left, but you're allowed to change the colors as you're touring through here. So I'd encourage you guys to hop on the website and explore this, use this to present to your clients. It's an awesome tool, and you can even get some VR glasses with your phone to really walk through the spaces and see what EzoBord is all about. There's also like a swatch and sample room that you can explore where there's some pre-recorded clips of the CEO, Doug, who will walk you through their different product lines as well. And then the last tool I wanted to show you guys on the website is the custom Ezo layer widget. So you can come in here and play with the different EzoBord, which would be your core options here. And then you can also layer some of the fabrics on top. Really, you can do all sorts of crazy things with this. And then you can also overlay the prints if you wanted to see some wood grains or any artwork shown on these samples. It's a great tool to get a 3D view of what the sample is going to look like before you order, but you can order it all here on the website and it will be delivered to you within a pretty quick timeline. But that is all I have for EzoBord. Of course, always reach out with questions if you need specification assistance. We're always happy to help there. And of course, customization too. Always excited to explore those projects.
Amazing. Thank you, Rob. I think my favorite was the red with the white in between, to actually see that layering and application. It's such a small detail, but has an amazing impact. So really inspiring and some fresh ideas. So we do have some questions in the Q&A for you. So let's go ahead and check those out. All right. So does EzoBord provide hardware for installation?
Yes, so EzoBord has hardware for every product that they offer, and they will do custom hardware as well. It's not required to use, but we do highly recommend it just because it makes an easier installation process and can cut costs on that installation side with time savings. And it also makes maintenance a little bit easier. A lot of them are easily removable. So if you need to get to the HVAC above some baffles, it's a quick click and a friction fit system that you can access what's above very easily.
Got it. Okay. And what's the best way to install EzoBord to maximize acoustic performance, and especially for those, intense environments like universities, for instance? Like, is there like a combination? Is there a science to it? Is there like an acoustical tech?
Yes, so in all of the documentation you'll find around EzoBoard, especially in terms of like the noise reduction coefficients, you'll always see higher values if there's an air gap installed behind the panel itself. So in terms of wall applications, we always want to have around an inch air gap between the panel and the wall. You can do that with furring strips. We provide Ezo standoffs or other hardware that make that very easy. And it just is an extra layer of insulation to absorb sound between the wall substrate and then the acoustic material itself. Um, you can install it directly on the wall. I see a question in here about adhesive, and we use double-sided tape in combination with a construction adhesive. Both can be provided by us.
Got it. And then what about fire rating? Are each one of your products rated the same, or are they rated differently because of because of their composition?
Right. So all of the EzoCore, EzoFelt, and EzoBoard is pretty much the same composition. Um, the fire rating is Class C standard, but we can provide an acoustic treatment up to Class A, particularly in like ceiling applications. We'll kind of default provide that rating to make sure that it meets any commercial installation requirements.
Awesome. And then cleaning. And that's a big one. Like if we're still on this topic of universities or, even
Right.
work, anywhere. How do you clean them? Do you sell the cleaning products? What are your recommendations?
So on the ceilings, main concern here is dust. So it's just keeping up with the dusting. Um, on the wall panels, we can see things like spills and other stains like that, or just, high traffic environments. Unexpected things happen. So spot cleaning is best with these materials. And a lot of times what we'll recommend is sort of like a carpet cleaner, something like that, to just spot clean that one area that has the issue. And that's our general recommendation. If anything beyond kind of your basic stain happens, we would probably just consult on a one-to-one basis and try a few different things with you.
Got it. Awesome. And then one last question.
Mhm.
Do you all provide CSI 3-part spec and construction detail review?
Yes, so there's a huge assistance from the design team at EzoBoard. So before we get into those documents specifically, the EzoBoard team's always happy to hop on the phone with the design team to walk through different options. We will make recommendations based on the drawings that you provide us with and kind of give a few different price tiers of what will work best for you. In terms of the construction details, installation, CSI 3-part spec, all of those are on the EzoBoard website, ezoboard.com. And if you ever have trouble finding anything, I have all of it kind of in a rep kit for us so that we can supply them one-to-one. So you don't have to dig around the website on your own.
Amazing. So for the designers on the call, what I took away from that is that you have an amazing support team at EzoBoard to support your big ideas and to support
Mhm.
your specification. So definitely lean on them.
Yeah,
When you're at that point and you need the help, see what are the services that they can offer you and, whatever guidance it might be for certain applications, and maybe some, creative ideas that are cost effective to still,
totally.
communicate your design vision while still saving the client money. So amazing. Thank you so much for that, Rob.
No problem. Happy to be here.
And now we're going to switch over to Sensitile. I'm really excited to introduce you to Molly Green, who is the material specialist there. Molly, go ahead and take it away.
Hi, my name's Molly. I'm the material specialist, and I'm actually going to try to disable the virtual background. There we go. Okay, so I'm hoping you can see. I've got a couple samples to show you. All
That looks,
right,
yeah.
excellent. So, yes, we Sensitile. We are a internationally recognized manufacturer of sustainable light manipulating materials. So I'll kind of start you off with the inspiration of the materials, which is this poem about the poet's walk through a bamboo forest. And you can picture the poet moving through the forest, and as she moves, the bamboo stalks around her also shifting and creating this dappled light across the ground. This kind of idea of the environment responding to the person. And that is what led to the creation of these light manipulating materials. And they use internal channels inside of them to capture and bend light and create that kind of experiential living surface.
I'm actually going to turn my video off for a second and stop sharing the screen so
Oh,
that we
sure.
see that nice and big.
Thank
Oh, that's beautiful.
you.
Oh, that's really impressive. I mean, I already have ideas on places we can put that.
Thank you.
All right, let's get back into it.
Sure. So the story, this started out actually as our founder Abhinan's thesis project at the University of Michigan. And I'll move this up so you can see maybe a little. So the concept was again creating, a surface that responds to you through moving ambient light, and this uses those internal channels inside of concrete to create that effect. The first prototypes were actually made in his basement. And then we moved to a rented studio in Detroit, and then eventually to the Ypsilanti plant, where we are today. Like I said, we are internationally recognized. We've shipped to over 60 different countries all around the world. And everything, design, prototyping, shipping, everything is done from here in Ypsi. Now, in terms of sustainability, of course, that's very important for us. We use a lot of green techniques in our production. We have variable speed machines to minimize the amount of electricity being used by the plant. Closed loop gray water recycling system for wet processes. And of course, we have recycled content certifications, life cycle information available, clean air gold certification, so there's no odd materials, there's no formaldehyde or PVC or anything like that in the materials. They have no off-gassing and so forth. Now, in terms of applications, there really are a huge variety of different applications available. Pretty much anywhere you want to have that kind of, interplay of light and movement and shadow. I've got a couple examples on the next slides to show you a few different ones. Yeah. So this one is the interactive concrete, the terrazzo. You can see that this is used in a bunch of different ways. It is good for floors and stairs like this, countertops in the middle, and even benches and so forth that you can see there. Next example is actually the light filtering material. So this is similar to the interactive, but instead of moving the light around, this is meant to reflect and refract to create interesting patterns and textures. And you can see in this, it's done transparent for the door and then opaque for the walls. It's got some accents and behind the bookshelf as well. Biophilic design is a big part of our design since we started off from that idea of the bamboo forest, the environment responding to the individual. In these two examples, you have, and I believe this is Washington, D.C., and you have Toronto. These are using color, light, texture, reflections to create the idea of water. And then next, we also have artwork being integrated with the material to create different biophilic designs. Again, we have birds in flight, granules of sugar, and then the idea of a cityscape on the river. And let me grab this one for you real quick as well. So this one here is the bamboo forest. There you go. For specifying our materials, we often work very closely with designers and specifiers from the beginning of the project all the way through. And we think about installation as well as the design, the aesthetics, even all the way through maintenance for the end user. So you can see in this example, this is a mall column in Scottsdale. We went from the design, on just a piece of paper, all through prototyping, sampling. We made these mock-ups, and I've got a little piece of it here left over, lighting tests, all the way to completion of the project. Some other tips for specification of our materials. Like I said, we're happy to help with design, prototyping, and so forth. We do a lot of sampling, as you can see. We also, help with hardware and lighting. We can do online design consultations to talk about the project and determine which is best for the design intent. Other things that are important, of course, keep timelines, in mind, share those with us. Pretty much everything we do is custom made. So it does have lead times, and we try to work within your timeline, of course. It's always important for us to have submittal samples. We try to keep in touch with all the people involved in the project, the GC, electrical people, installers, and so forth. And the other thing to keep in mind is we're the only ones making these types of products. There's no other distributors or producers anywhere in the world. All right, that is my email there, info@Sensitile. Like I said, I'm always happy to help with samples or to talk with you about your project. We do also have CEU courses every Tuesday, if you're interested in that.
That was absolutely amazing, Molly. So much.
Thank
Um,
you.
Absolutely beautiful. We do have questions in the Q&A. So let's start off with Julia. How are the lights powered? Are they low voltage? And I think she was referring to one of the last full product installations that you were showing us.
Yes, yeah, we use low voltage LEDs. They're very long lasting. I think they tend to be like 50,000 hours. And the other thing that we, try to do is make sure it's easy to get to them if you do need to eventually replace them. We do a lot of this edge lighting like I'm showing you here, and it's real easy to just kind of remove the lights and put them back in.
Here, I'm going to stop sharing and turn my video off so you can
Sure.
really, oh, very
So the
cool.
lights are all just contained in here, and then the actual material itself expands the lights across itself.
And then what about durability? If we're putting these in these commercial your products in these commercial environments that you were showing us, do hold up to the wear and tear of a commercial space like a hotel or a university or a museum?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been used in all of those different places. The terrazzo is just like regular concrete. It's extremely durable. It's suitable for use in wet environments. It can be used outdoors. Resin and glass are also very durable. The resin is the same type of material that is used in airplane windows. So, it can take a beating. And the other thing is that you can do things like buff out scratches if they occur. And then sometimes even sort of light wear will kind of disappear inside of the pattern because you're just drawn into the textures and the reflections.
Yeah, that's definitely a value add. You're
Yeah.
distracted, but you're so enthralled with, the different light effects that you're not noticing, nicks and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then in terms of pricing, and I'm sure that's what, every designer is thinking about right now, and they probably have a preconceived notion of like, oh my God, this is so beautiful, so expensive. Is there like a ballpark by maybe, category or by material type?
Yeah, definitely. We do have kind of a range, as you can imagine. The thinner materials, the resin, simpler patterns are going to start around maybe $50 a square foot. And then it kind of goes up from there. You can do up to, 90, 100 a square foot for terrazzo, even up to 120 for some of the glass or very fancy, patterns, custom designs and such. So it's a variety.
No, but that's helpful to have just an idea of what you're working with.
Yeah, absolutely. And oftentimes, people do come to me and say, gosh, we really liked this, but it was outside of our budget. And I can say, well, how about this one that's similar, but it's, a little bit thinner. It's, not quite as expensive.
Well, thank you so much, Molly, and thank you, Rob. This was an amazing episode. You both have, and represent really beautiful products in your respective categories. So for the designers on the call, I hope you leave here inspired today, maybe with some fresh ideas for projects that you're working on. If there's something you saw today that you absolutely need to have a sample of, if you scan this QR code, it will take you to a custom board that has EzoBord and Sensitile products in it, where if you sample today, you'll have it on your desk Monday morning. So again, if you've been inspired and there's something that you're working on at the moment that this, happens to really work out well for you, I encourage you to check out these two brand partners. And I think we answered all of our Q&As. So thank you all for your time today, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you so much.